Welcome to Weight Loss and Wellness for Real, the podcast where people like you get the practical solutions and support you need to permanently lose the physical and mental weight so you can feel better and live the life you want in the body and mind you want. If you're looking to overcome your stress eating, overeating, binging behaviors, and move to a place of freedom with food and your body, you're in the right place. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and for listening. I really appreciate it. Special thanks to those of you who in the past couple of months have signed up to be a patron of the podcast. That is how I keep this podcast putting out an episode every week. Your support is really what does it. And if you would like to become a patron of the podcast, you can go to the podcast episode description from whatever platform you're looking at. Scroll to the bottom and you will see a link that says support this podcast. You can click on that and then you can sign up to be a patron for as little as 99 cents a month. And I am telling you, that means everything in regards to keeping this podcast going. So if you are in the giving spirit, that is the link you can head to help with that. Today, we are going to talk about circadian rhythm strategies for really just our everyday wellness, but particularly how to use these strategies during this winter season. So if you're listening to this when this is recorded and published, we are into, well, this is going to come out either January, February of 2024. And I personally live in the Midwest, so it is very cold. We do not have a lot of light during the days right now. And as a mental health therapist, I see a lot of people who deal with seasonal affective disorder. And I also am so lucky to deal with seasonal affective disorder. It is often called S.A.D, just the little acronym for seasonal affective disorder. And so what I wanted to talk about today are circadian rhythm strategies. These are strategies that I use a lot with all of my clients, whether it's with my therapy clients or whether it's with my coaching clients. I really help people start to implement these particular behaviors into their life for anything that they are dealing with. So whether it's anxiety, depression, seasonal affective disorder, crisis in life, trying to lose weight, trying to stop binge eating, trying to stop overeating. These are all strategies that I really recommend and help people get into their lifestyle practice because they are so powerful. So if you are maybe feeling a little bit of the winter blahs right now, or if you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to stop the habit of overeating, any of these things, keep listening to find out some sort of, let's call them fringe strategies that can make really powerful changes for you. Hi, everyone. Guess what? I have a lovely discount code just for you, my listeners. The code is 10OFF. That's 10OFF, and it will get you 10% off any one of my online courses, which now include Mastering Mindful Eating, Overcome Binge Eating, Overeating, and Emotional Eating for Good. And I also have a course on When You Want to Stop the Weight Loss Medication, a comprehensive guide to weight maintenance and mastery. So if you've maybe lost some weight using a medication and you're now wanting to go off the medication but keep the weight off, this is the course for you. And any course you buy, you keep the course for a minimum of 3 years, maybe longer. It just depends on how many are purchased. All courses are self-paced, and I promise you they are practical, meaning they don't just tell you what you need to do. You actually engage in the skills and strategies needed to make actual lasting behavior change. You learn how to do the what. Okay, all courses have multiple modules with multiple lessons. I'll include lots of examples, tips, and tricks to make things simple and clear. And you also get lots of downloadable resources, including the daily planning template that I use with my own clients, the exact protocol to use after a binge or an overeat has occurred to minimize its damage on your body and your mind. There are protein cheat sheets, research-based journaling prompts, and the literal how-to checklists on the skill you are learning about. And with the weight maintenance course, you also have a movement module that will help you figure out how to make a movement plan that fits your particular lifestyle and level of fitness. And you also have a natural appetite regulation module. So whether if you have never tried an online course to change behavior, or if you have, I just highly would recommend that you try one of these. I've put my heart and soul into both of them. They are all research-based, and now you can get 10% off. So again, that code is 10OFF. If you're ready to make changes that last, you can go to my website, heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen. And from the main menu, click courses, and it will get you to where you want to go. Or you can click on the links in the episode description below the show. And again, as soon as you're there, when you're ready for checkout, just enter the code 10OFF, 10 off. And just a reminder, I also have an ebook cookbook that is now available. It's called Protein Forward Easy Recipes. It includes all high protein recipes, including breakfast and sweet treats full of protein and lunches and dinner. Okay, so again, head to my website. It's probably the easiest thing to do. heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen. And from there, go to courses or the cookbook. And again, use code 10 off at checkout. Okay, so let's first get into exactly what is seasonal affective disorder, or S.A.D. And it's a type of depression that happens during certain seasons of the year. And usually these seasons are fall and winter, although some people can experience these things in the spring as well. It's really about less sunlight and shorter days, which kind of appear to be the trigger of seasonal affective disorder. Some of the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder can include persistently feeling down or sad, losing interest in things you would normally enjoy, sleep disturbances like hypersomnia, where you're sleeping too much, or insomnia, where you can't fall asleep or stay asleep, feeling persistently tired and fatigued, which usually how I see that manifest itself is lack of motivation. Most people will come in and say they just don't feel motivated for their day. Difficulty concentrating, brain fog, feelings of worthlessness, weight changes, which can include weight gain or weight loss, although I will tell you I most often with this see weight gain. And then also some extreme symptoms can be suicidal ideation. So if you've experienced any or many or all of these symptoms on a seasonal basis, you're probably dealing with seasonal affective disorder. As I mentioned in the introduction, I have struggled with seasonal affective disorder for a long time, but over the past few years, I really started to dig into the research on how to really shore myself up during these seasons so I don't get hit as hard, so that it's not as big of a depression, as long lasting or as intense as it has been in the past. And so I'm going to talk to you about some of my best practices and my go-tos for really getting through this season. Now, along with it, these same skills and strategies are really important if you are someone trying to lose weight. In fact, I can tell you I have seen a few clients who have only implemented these strategies. They didn't on purpose change food or start exercising more or anything like that, and have been able to drop weight simply with being very consistent with these strategies. So if you are someone who's listening to this podcast because you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to stop your binge eating, emotional eating, overeating behaviors, these same strategies can be really, really helpful in helping you make those particular changes as well. So our circadian rhythm is really our internal natural clock that it runs our sleep, our mood, and our appetite. So when there is a shift in season, Or like when we have daylight savings time, we're changing our time and our access to daylight is shifted. Our bodies really struggle to adjust to the new light and time frame. And of course, all of you know this also happens if you travel far east or far west, right? So where you're dealing with jet lag and that kind of thing. And in fact, when you're dealing with feeling kind of crappy on a seasonal basis, it really does in a way feel like jet lag, that brain fog, that no motivation, that extra tired. So our circadian rhythm is influenced by these 5 things: light, time. So like I said, traveling across time zones, serotonin imbalance, sleep or long naps, and food. Okay. So circadian rhythm, which again, that's our internal natural clock that runs our sleep, our mood, and our appetite, is influenced by light, time, serotonin, sleep, and food. So to optimize our circadian rhythm during this season or any season, there are some things we can engage in order to really help optimize our circadian rhythm. So number 1, you hear me say this time and time again, but it's really, really important. Create a sleep schedule. One of the easiest ways to improve your circadian rhythm is to go to bed at the same time every night. Establishing this routine can really help regulate your sleeping habits and improve your circadian rhythm. So if you're only going to do one thing to improve your sleep hygiene, by the way, I've got lots of past episodes on sleep hygiene tactics, but if you're only going to do one, then start out by committing to going to bed at the same time every single night. That right there is going to help to improve your circadian rhythm. Obviously, there's lots of other things you can do. Sleep is king. So lots of other things you can do to get your sleep because sleep is king. I'm thinking faster than I'm talking this morning, but that first one, getting to bed at a regular time. Now, the next thing you can do is really start that wind down routine, having a routine before bed. You know the deal, shutting down screens. You don't want that blue light in your eyes. Remember, again, light is a signal for that circadian rhythm. And so we do not want blue light in the evenings in our eyes, and our screens are all blue light. So if you have to have your screens on, wear blue blockers. That can really help with sleep. Other things you can try is taking a warm bath before bed. What that actually does, it warms up your body, but then when you get out, your body temperature cools down, and that body temp, that can be a signal to your body, okay, it's time to rest, it's time to sleep. So getting into the practice of a really great sleep hygiene strategy or routine can also really, really help with this. But number 1 would be start going to bed at the same time every single evening. Okay, back to the screen time, reducing that screen time to at least 2 hours before bed. So shutting off screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. Again, that blue light is what's going to screw things up. So again, try those blue, I'm repeating myself here. Sorry guys, but I've got notes and they're repeating themselves. So trying blue blockers, or the other one that I meant to mention was use your red light filter on your phone. If you must have screens on, and if you have an iPhone, just clicking the right button on the side of your phone. If you click it fast 3 times, that will shift your phone into red light mode. Okay, get sunlight in your eyes immediately when you wake up or when the sun rises. So stepping outside without sunglasses and look towards the rising sun for about 5 to 10 minutes. You don't look directly at the sun. That will hurt your eyes. But you really want to be outside in that sunlight as the sun is rising or shortly after it has risen over the horizon for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then bonus points here for standing barefoot on the ground, grounding while doing this. I'll do another episode on grounding, but we have tons of science behind grounding and the importance of it and what it can do for our bodies. Pretty amazing stuff. But anyway, I want you to get that sunlight in the morning. That light trigger is going to optimize your circadian rhythm by stimulating the hypothalamus and then helping reset your internal body clock. So this is also going to give you actually more quality sleep at night, the next night. If you wake up before the sunrise, I would say turn on every light possible as well as invest in a light box and get one that's at least 10,000 lux. Have it shining on you, whatever you're doing right away in the morning. So, for about 20 to 30 minutes in the morning, have that light box shining on you. Another way to really optimize your circadian rhythm is trying to exercise earlier in the day. So if you are an exerciser, it might be wise to do so earlier in the day. If your only time to exercise is in the evening, don't give that up. Any exercise or movement is always going to be better than no exercise. But if you have the flexibility, exercising earlier in the day is going to help improve your circadian rhythm it advances your internal clock, which makes it easier to wake up in the mornings. So that's another little one I would throw in there. However, for those of you out there who wake up at 4:30, 5 a.m., chug a cup of coffee and do your, super hard HIIT workout, fasted right away in the morning. Okay. And I'm going to do another episode on this, but stop that. Okay. Stop that. Particularly if you are a perimenopause or in menopause, perimenopause woman, 40s, 50s, or not just you women, if you are a highly stressed individual, if you're very anxious, you live a very high stressed existence, you know who you are, by the way, type A, anxiety prone, that would be me. The things I have learned over the past few years, you really, really, really want to stop the whole wake up, immediately chug the coffee and go do a HIIT workout. There's reasons for that, and I will do another episode on that to talk about that. But for right now, just know that's going to be really detrimental. Just a quick interruption to talk about today's show sponsor, and that is the Amino Co. Amino Co. is a company that produces essential amino acid supplements, and I have been using their Life formulation for quite a while now. Supplementing with essential amino acids has been shown to help with appetite control, as well as helping to support muscle maintenance and recovery. We really can't produce all the amino acids we need for optimal health directly in our bodies. We need to get some of them. They're called essential amino acids through our food or supplementation. And if we don't get these essential amino acids in on a regular basis, our bodies lose the ability to create and maintain muscle mass as well as bone density. And so making sure you're getting all the amino acids your body needs becomes really, really important, especially as we age. All of Amino Co.'s formulations have been tested in clinical trials, which show they enhance physical function and muscle strength and support heart health. I personally like knowing that along with getting in my dietary protein amount, I am also supplementing with the essential amino acids I want daily for my long-term goals of strength, muscle maintenance, and just staying healthy as I age. Some quick protocols to try if you want to give their products a try would be if you're someone trying to lose weight, you could take a scoop mixed with water in the morning and again in the afternoon, usually when you notice your energy slumping, to just really help boost your appetite control. If you're an endurance athlete, I know I have some of you out there listening, and you're doing longer than 1 hour of endurance work, you would take 5 to 10 grams per hour. So for example, when I do my really long bike rides, this is what I'm making sure I'm taking in every hour on that hour plus ride. If you're a huge worker outer, had a really, really tough physical day, a really, really big workout that day, then taking a scoop in water before bed has been shown to help with recovery. So since I felt the benefits of this product, I really want to share it with you. And because you are a listener of this podcast, you can try their products for 30% off. If you decide to give these a try, and because you could use some help with appetite control and or want to supplement for muscle maintenance and recovery, then use my referral link, which is aminoco.com/HH30. So that's AMINOCO.com/H30. Go to aminoco.com//HH30, choose your product or products, and check out, use the discount code HH30. Again, capital H 30 for 30% off your entire order. Really detrimental for your physical body. If you're trying to lose weight, that is not the way to do it. If you're trying to really shore up this circadian rhythm in order to kind of optimize all the hormones, the hormonal cascade throughout the day, all those things, you really do not want to be getting up and immediately, drinking the coffee and doing a super hard, high intense workout. Okay, more on that later. All right, so next thing you want to think about to really optimize your circadian rhythm is eating breakfast. And this gets really controversial with all the fasting hype that's been going on for a few years now. But the truth is that eating breakfast aligns with nature and our cortisol levels. So our cortisol levels, if things are going correctly, if we're healthy, our cortisol levels peak during the morning time. And this means we are actually more insulin sensitive at this time. So I've done one or two other episodes on how cortisol and insulin are related. But so cortisol levels peak during the morning time. And this means, again, we're more insulin sensitive at this time. And more insulin sensitivity means we are more adapted in the morning to utilize glucose for energy and not for storage. So eating breakfast really stimulates our internal clock. And best practice for circadian rhythm optimization is eating more for breakfast and lunch and less for dinner. Okay, that would be optimal. Obviously, this is a tough one for most of us, including me, as we tend to have bigger dinners, and that is fine. Just focus on getting something nourishing into your body for breakfast as well. Okay, another one, eat an early and maybe a lighter, like I just talked about, dinner. So eating late in the evening can really delay particular sleep cycles during stages of sleep, which disrupt your circadian rhythm. So try to eat your last meal 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, and this will give your body enough time to digest your food. However, what you eat does matter as well. So avoiding really heavy, high-fat meals right before bed. And if you must eat right before bed, make it a real light and nourishing snack. There are other strategies that can help us, things like red light therapy. That's one I really got into the past 3 years. I invested in a red light panel, a big one, not just, the little handheld one for your face. Research would kind of show us that you really do need the panel if you're going to utilize it for these sort of things. So anyway, I did invest in that a few years ago. I have used it religiously almost every single morning. Right when I wake up, I bought one with a stand so that I can just roll it over the top of my bed so that while I usually do my meditation in the morning while I'm still in bed, and then I pull that red light over me. I have been pretty faithful with that for about, it's probably been almost 3 years now. So that's another strategy that you can utilize to really help optimize that circadian rhythm, especially if you deal with seasonal affective disorder, especially if you live in, a northern climate, especially if you live in a place like I do where, the sun isn't rising until, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up at 4:35 every morning. So I really need that light stimulation to kind of keep me feeling, feeling good. And then, other things, obviously, like I talk a lot about mindfulness or relaxation techniques. Those things can be great. They do help just align our circadian rhythm a little bit better. But obviously the biggies are going to be light, food, your sleep, all kinds of things like that. Oh, another one too, watching the sunset. So, being outside as much as possible, but, like we talked about watching that sunrise, but also watching the sunset can really help give signals to our internal clock, our circadian rhythm, of what time of day it is. And that can help to kind of optimize the setting of that clock. And then, one other thing I do think about when we're talking about this stuff, when we're talking about things like seasonal affective disorder or, trying to lose some weight, trying just to feel better, trying to have more energy during this time of year. There is one thing I want you to remember. This season, this winter season, really can be embraced, and this is what I've really tried to do over the past few years. It's a tough one for me, but really can be embraced as one of rest and renewal. So sometimes the best gift we can give ourselves is really embracing the lower energy levels that may come during this season, allowing and resting and accepting and not pushing and pulling and driving to, quote, feel happier all the time can really be the best way to find peace during this season. I encourage you to engage in some of the practices I've just talked about to really shore up your circadian rhythm. It really, really can make a difference for those of you who deal with seasonal affective disorder, or those of you who just find a lot less energy, or maybe your mood really drops during this time of year. Also, these strategies can be used year-round to really optimize things. If you are trying to lose some weight, if you are trying to change behaviors around food, like with overeating or binging, these strategies, these circadian rhythm strategies, really can help shore you up so that the changes you are trying to make don't feel quite as hard, which is huge when you're trying to make big changes. And in regards to the weight loss, I have seen people start implementing these strategies and be able to kind of start dropping that weight that's sort of been stuck. So anyway, lots of reasons to give these things a try. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate all of you being here. We will talk soon. Did you know you can find a lot more help from me on my website? Go to heatherheynen.com. Heynen is spelled Heynen, and get in touch with questions on all things I offer, like online courses for overeating, weight loss, goal attainment, and also my coaching and counseling services. Just a reminder that this podcast represents my own opinions. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult your doctor or healthcare professional for any individual medical questions you may have.